The four major broadcasters in the U.S. are the National Broadcasting Company, NBC, Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS, the American Broadcasting Company, ABC, and Fox. The four major broadcast television networks are all commercial entities. Cable television offers hundreds of channels catering to a variety of niches. Americans listen to radio programming, also largely commercial, on average just over 2.5 hours a day. In 1998, the number of U.S. commercial radio stations had grown to 4,793 AM stations and 5,662 FM stations. In addition, there are 1,460 public radio stations. Most of these stations are run by universities and public authorities for educational purposes and are financed by public or private funds, subscriptions and corporate underwriting. Much public radio broadcasting is supplied by NPR, formerly National Public Radio. NPR was incorporated in February 1970 under the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967. Its television counterpart, PBS, was also created by the same legislation. NPR and PBS are operated separately from each other. As of September 30, 2014, there are 15,433 licensed full-power radio stations in the U.S. according to the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, FCC. Well-known newspapers are the New York Times, USA Today and the Wall Street Journal. Although the cost of publishing has increased over the years, the price of newspapers has generally remained low, forcing newspapers to rely more on advertising revenue and on articles provided by a major wire service, such as the Associated Press or Reuters, for their national and world coverage. With very few exceptions, all the newspapers in the U.S. are privately owned, either by large chains such as Gannett or McClatchy, which own dozens or even hundreds of newspapers, by small chains that own a handful of papers, or in a situation that is increasingly rare, by individuals or families. Major cities often have alternative weeklies to complement the mainstream daily papers, for example, New York City's The Village Voice or Los Angeles, Louisiana Weekly, to name two of the best known. Major cities may also support a local business journal, trade papers relating to local industries, and papers for local ethnic and social groups. Early versions of the American newspaper comic strip and the American comic book began appearing in the 19th century. In 1938, Superman, the comic book superhero of DC Comics, developed into an American icon. Aside from web portals and search engines, the most popular websites are Facebook, YouTube, Wikipedia, Yahoo.com, eBay, Amazon and Twitter. More than 800 publications are produced in Spanish, the second most widely spoken mother tongue behind English.